quite a deeper thing. I thought maybe I will start today with a understanding, a little bit deeper understanding. That's not anxiety, or if you have depression, or if you have any of those related mental spaces, existential crisis, not knowing what life's all about, all of these contribute to health. And I want to present to you today emotions in a different way. So at the moment, you will, if you look at any other sort of um, literature out there, it'll tell you that emotions are basically neurochemicals. They're chemicals that affect your neurology, your nervous system. They're biochemical, and they are behavior. Okay, so chemical, neurological, and behavior, which we can all agree on, right? That's true. When you get angry, your blood pressure changes, your heart rate changes, your all this kind of stuff changes, your hormones change, cortisol is produced, glucose is produced. All of this says, yep, that sounds about right. But what we don't understand is that emotions are energetic imprints. Energetic imprints. What does that mean? Anything that's moving is energy. Or easy understanding. Anything that's moving is energy. Okay. Just for our understanding, obviously it's much more complex than that, but just for our understanding. The understanding of the breath, those wisdom traditions that know what this is about, is very, very complex. And I will break it down for you. Your breath, my breath, consists of 5 different types of energies. 5. There's one which is responsible for the circulation of the blood. There's one that's responsible for excretion, sweat, urine, all that stuff, toxins. There's one that is responsible for the actual energy itself. There's one that's responsible for coordinating our, did I mention circulation? Circulation. And the last one is the coherence of it all. Yeah, how the whole thing kind of operates together. And they all kind of interrelated. Now, when you have, so another way of explaining that is when you breathe in right now, in this air, you will have oxygen, you'll have nitrogen, you'll have carbon dioxide, and you'll have other bits and bobs in there. So you have 5 different things that you're breathing in, or at least more than 5. But in this case, the breath itself, the energy of the breath itself, breaks down in 5. When you have an emotional experience, this breath changes, always. Breath is your master, breath is your teacher. It changes. Once it changes, if you don't regulate it, you maintain that instability. You maintain that emotional state. So if someone is upset, we will tell them, regulate your breath, take a few deep breaths in, and you will feel a lot better. And that normally tends to work. Why? Because you regulate emotions with your breath. However, there are some emotions that can't be regulated in the same way. Those emotions are to do with guilt, regret, betrayal. So these kind of emotions, once they imprint on the breath, they need to be resolved. They need to be resolved. And they need to be resolved because they will impact not just your biology, your physiology, your mental state while you're alive, but they will also influence just the moment before you die. And what's more, they will also influence time after your death. Emotional imprints. Emotional imprints. So when we begin to do meditation on the breath, we're not just first regulating the mind and the emotions. Stage one. Stage one, at the start of our lesson. As we become more and more mature and experienced in these things, we can bring in sound. Now, the reason you have sound-based meditation in the East and in the West, although it's been killed in the West because of the church and everything else, but prior to that, Gregorian chants, chanting, all of that was part and parcel of the process. Why? Ask yourself why. It ain't about praising God. It's about regulating your prana through sound and breath. So when we bring mantra, which is mantra is a sound, it's like Om, Satnam, Vaheguru, Allahu. These are all sounds. These sounds are used synchronized with the breath in order to remove the imprint of the emotion in the breath. Do you understand? Because the breath contains that. So if betrayed someone, someone has betrayed someone, they know what's right. They know what's wrong. You know what's in there. You know what's right and what's wrong. Can't can't undo that. What's happened is happened. But what you can undo is the emotional residue, whether you're the guilty partner or whether you're the victim. So the victim will feel betrayed in one way, and the betrayer will feel regret on the realization of the betrayal. These emotions, or emotions like this, are much deeper than just anger and anxiety. So, through meditation, breath meditation, regulating breath, we begin first to just regulate the mind, become present, become aware of ourselves,